Hi everyone, Fiona Pearman and Kate Borough here, and we're talking this month all about resilience. And today we really want to hone in on how conflict builds resilience and what that means for us and how we can use conflict actually to ensure that we are stronger and more equipped to deal with the tough times and difficult situations.
Yeah, I think lots of us, it's human nature, right, to want to resist conflict, to avoid it, to not have that conversations, all of those sorts of things. I for sure have been found myself in those situations where I haven't wanted to lean into it, and I've really almost done everything I can to navigate around it. It's a part of life, and I think when we can reframe how we experience conflict, when we can actually use it as an opportunity to learn a little bit around ourselves, and of course, when we've got the skills to be able to engage in it in a way where it doesn't feel personal, in a way that we can have good conversation, good communication. Of course, they're the skills we're talking about. All of a sudden, our perspective and our experience of conflict changes, right? Because it becomes an opportunity to learn lessons about ourselves. It becomes an opportunity for us to get different perspectives. And then, who knows what opens up after that?
Yeah, I think the reality is we're all going to be confronted with, or we're all going to have to deal with challenging, difficult situations. We're going to have people with different opinions, different perspectives. We're going to have lots of different times where we're going to need to work through something that probably feels fairly uncomfortable. And the opportunity here is to really start to see that as this is a way in which I'm going to enhance some of my existing skills. I'm actually going to have more resilience if I meet this constructively, if I start to orient myself towards what can I do in this situation rather than avoiding it. And some of the things we know can be really powerful is maybe dropping the need to be right or to prove yourself, maybe just slowing down a little bit and engaging in a bit more curiosity and questioning, thinking about how you can stay with the difficult situation and navigate through it rather than contracting away from it. Because yes, of course, there's a risk about relationship and how we engage with others, but there's also a risk if we don't deal with things in challenging situations. That's a risk too. So the opportunity is, how can I start to make inroads, ask the good questions, think about what's going on, and as you said, Kate, not necessarily take it as personally.
Yeah, I think bringing good skill capability to this, so those great communication skills, there's always opportunity for us to get better in that, in my experience. And then embracing the lessons, the learnings, the opportunities that are here for us around ourselves, and also around the situation, the environment, perhaps the other person. I think what happens when we do this with courage, and it does take courage because of what's at risk, and our need to be vulnerable sometimes and drop the need to be right. When we do that, we get new evidence that actually these situations of conflict perhaps aren't as scary as perhaps what I thought it would be. The stories we tell ourselves, we quote Brené Brown all the time with that, and that actually we are far more resourced perhaps than we usually think we are, that even though it may not be comfortable and I may not like having to navigate through some of these conflict, and I may not like some of what I learn about myself and or potentially other people or the context of the situation that I'm in, but actually I do have resources. I will be okay. And I think when we do that, when we get that evidence, when we get that certainty, that's what builds resilience. That's what tells me, actually, I can face up against these next time. I can absolutely go into these situations with confidence, not with an expectation that I'm going to get it perfect, but with the expectation that I'll navigate through it and I'll learn something.
I think, the more we recognize what's coming up, the more we understand what the meaning we're making of conflict and are willing to reframe it and to start to think about it as an opportunity, kind of a challenge, that the more I meet the challenge, the more resourced I am, and therefore the more capable I'm becoming. We've seen that time and time again for women generally in organizations, and also in our personal lives. What are the places in which we could willingly start to examine and really dig into having better quality conversations, better quality communication, because each time we do, we will step back from it and we'll go, actually, I can do this. I feel resourced, I feel willing, and I feel resilient.
Yeah, now we know the acts of confidence comes before the feeling of confidence, right? So when it comes to, waiting to be confident to deal with conflicts, we want to take those acts of confidence. Taking the act of confidence will help us get the lessons of certainty that we absolutely can step into more of these conversations. So we're going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed today's confidence conversation, we'd love for you to share feedback below. Of course, lots of people in your network, I'm sure, could leverage or benefit from this conversation. So we'd love for you to share it with anyone who you think might enjoy today's conversation. Of course, any of our other confidence conversations. If you'd like to find out more about us, head over to our Facebook page. Lots of great videos that you can dig into there to find out a little bit more about our work. And of course, if you'd like to go deeper with your relationship with confidence, visit coreconfidence.com.au.